Uh, how's the week been? Is Chris Durkin up to his work? What's his?
Yeah, Chris is back in. Really nice to have him back on the field with us. And finally he's, feeling good. So I think he should be available for the weekend.
Anyone not going to play other than the guys who are be with City 2?
Yeah, we're trying to balance that out. Who would potentially be, important for City too. And um, there's even guys that will be on the trip that may play for City 2 on Sunday. So um, I would say to go backwards a little bit that we had everybody. I think we talked about this on Tuesday. We had everybody on the field. So I mean, obviously Celio and Tomas were not there, but everybody else was healthy, and for that to be the first time, at least since I um, have been in this position, that was interesting to have everybody available.
It's just more fun to have everybody.
Sure, because I mean, you never want anybody to be out because they, are injured or recovering or anything like that. Um, but it's also just like it points to this year and the interesting just dynamic of when you have injuries and like, you get some guys back, but others, like Durkin, you wouldn't think would have had a knee contusion that would keep him out as long as it did.
So what are you looking for out of this last game?
Continued good form and a good performance. We have been in good form. One of the only teams that's been in better form than us in the whole league is Minnesota. Um, we talked about a little bit. We thought Minnesota would be that team that we would have to get in front of to make the playoffs. It turns out, they're in seventh now, and they don't have that play-in game. So kudos to them. They've done a fantastic job since we last saw them here. We've been in good form too. So you're going to get two teams that are playing really well. And for us, we're concentrating on us, and we'd love to do nothing more than continue playing well and have a good result in Minnesota to finish our year off.
And you can't play spoiler a little bit if you win, you'd have an opportunity to knock them down to that playing game. But is there a little bit of an edge given that you have everyone healthy? You're playing one of the hottest teams in the Western Conference right now, just to kind of prove that you can stick in there with them.
Yeah. So yes, for sure. I do want to point out though that it's not easy for whether it's coaches or athletes that have endured some of the trials and tribulations that we have gone through this year to stay focused and stay concentrated and to really put forth the best possible effort they can. I mean, clearly I'm preaching that and I want that. And credit to the players, they're really good about trying to do that, but it is difficult. That is that's not an opponent putting a challenge in front of us. That's just the reality of the situation that's something we have to face and overcome in order to play our best soccer on Saturday.
And then with a match like this, where you don't necessarily have anything to play for, but you still want to put in a good showing, especially to build momentum into next year. How do you kind of build that sense of we need to come in here with a drive, but also maybe being a little bit free, knowing that you can play without anything on your shoulders?
Yeah, we don't have any pressure on us. Uh, there's, but at the same time, I would say for the last 2 months, whether it was we were trying to fight to show our fans and anybody across the league that we were a really good team, we still have that drive, and it would be irresponsible of us not to try to put our best foot forward on Saturday and finish all the good work that we've done going into this.
Is competition kind of driving that too, especially at the attacker position where everyone's kind of playing well right now?
Yeah, it is. But it's also been, we have a 2-week break from Houston to Minnesota, another challenge for us to kind of try to keep that competition high, and sustain the level that we were playing at, and hopefully we finish it off.
Josh Arrow resigns. Everyone loves Josh, so it's got to be a good thing to have more Josh in your future.
More Josh in our future is a great thing. He's a wonderful professional athlete, so much experience. When he's on the field and playing, he certainly shows his qualities and has been important to us achieving a lot of success on the field. But he's such a good person off it. His leadership in the locker room. I personally don't think that we would be in the same position if he wasn't a guy that I could lean into hard and, say, hey, help me out, help me get this guy, help me get this group of guys, help me get the whole group in the boat and moving in the right direction. He certainly is. He's been here since day one. I think it's always important to have players like Josh that know the whole history of a place and a club, and he certainly does, and he loves it too. And now his family is here, and all of those things make Josh, re-signing with us a great story.
And for him to have that attitude, for a guy who plays on an occasional basis at best, to be able to be a leader even in that role says something about him, I suppose.
Yeah, I mean, he's a high character individual. He does everything in his power to put himself in a position to play, and he does that whether he knows he's playing or whether he knows he might not even be on the game day roster. For our younger guys in that locker room, you don't have to preach some of those things about how you get to be a pro and how you have a long career as a pro. Josh is the epitome of that. And, so whether he's using his words to lead by example or just the fact that every day he shows up and does the job and does it to the best of his ability is a testament to him. And it really helps us out.
What have you learned over the years about foreign players, internationals, adapting to MLS? You see different people in different places, and some do it well and some don't.
Yeah, it's a really good question, but it's probably not easy to answer it concisely because there's so many differences. I would say that if you look at our club right now, we try to take care of our players from the minute that we, sign them. So our onboarding process, Benji does a phenomenal job with that. Balmy does a incredible job trying to make the players feel welcome and then help them get situated here in St. Louis. But then our players have also been really important to try to, build that group of people around them that they know that they have people they can lean on. Tots is probably a perfect example of that with him and his, wife that are now, having a baby and hopefully he feels like this is not just a place that he's in, but he has a support network around him because we have other players and families within the club that are supporting him. So I think we've done a really good job of trying to integrate foreign players here. I would give Lutz credit too. When we originally signed all these guys, we brought them here 6 months before they were ever going to play, in the MLS. That again helped it, and that helps the next guy that comes in do it. But it's always difficult. It's never easy, and there is that adaptation period. And whether it's as a coach or a technical director, we need to be patient to allow those adjustments to happen before we really see a player, be the best of themselves.
From your experience, I mean, can you kind of tell when you're recruiting a guy that this is someone who is going to transition well to living in America, and maybe some guys you can tell won't?
Yeah, there's a lot of little red flags that go up in certain areas, whether it be a language barrier. Right now, I think we only have one player in the club who, is struggling with. He's doing a good job learning English, but that is a huge part of it. So, clearly we have a lot of Europeans in our clubhouse, and all of them know English, whether it's the second or third language, that helps tremendously as well. But there are a lot of little, flags that you're looking for when you're recruiting them. I've talked about this in other places, but Lutz and I are very conscious about the type of people we bring here. And I think that helps too, because if one of those little red flag goes up and say, we don't want, there's something about that player, whether it's his lifestyle or his choices or something we see, on the field and how he reacts to certain things, we try to at least be really intentional about what they are as a person and their character.
We'll go to Matt Rocchio.
Hey, Coach Hack. I know last time we talked, we had that, you had that moment with Klaus where you made the joke about him playing the six. So just going forward, when you look at that four-man attack, even going not just this next game, but maybe even the next year, what's the ideal way that those guys would all work together and Klaus would be able to be more impactful in a usual 9 role? I know he plays a lot of that false 9. Just what is the ideal way that he doesn't feel like he's playing a 6, but he also is still be able to make the
This is
impact
5 on your
all around
side
the
at noon.
field?
Focused on you.
I got most of that question, Matt, before 5 on your side news came in there with something. It's a challenge for us, Matt, because when you have those 4 attackers on the field, trying to arrange them and having their responsibilities relative to when we have the ball, when we lose it, and in particular, how we're setting up in our defensive, whether it's our compact press or whether we're going to press, having those 4 is a challenge. So we need to come up with different schemes that hopefully allow all 4 of them to be really influential in our attack. And, to Klaus's point about the Houston game, he might just have, times when he has to do that work, and I think he's really past being the emotional guy that he is. And I love that about him. He is willing to do that work. So if he has to play as a 6 and we win a game, I really don't care.
But he's Brazilian.
He is Brazilian. He has flair, but Brazilians are also this is funny, Tom. People think that Brazilians don't play hard or they don't work defensively. I mean, I have played, been fortunate in my career to play Brazil a number of times, both as on the senior level and the youth level. They will cheer as hard for a tackle as they will for some goal. They will cheer as hard for a throw-in that their team earned. It's a passionate, very emotional culture that they have. So this idea that they don't like to play against the ball, I think, is a little bit of a false narrative.
What do you think for Klaus? I mean, he hasn't scored a goal since May, which has got to be tough.
We're not talking about that.
It's got to be tough for him just because.
Yeah, of course. And we all want Klaus to find the back of the net. It would be fantastic. But the one thing I think that we've done a good job of recently is saying nothing is more important than our team. And so if it's Klaus and he has to do the work against the ball that allows the team to be successful, that's what he has to do. And he has to understand how much we appreciate that, as well as him scoring the goal. At the same time, of course, we want him to score goals. That's what he loves. But he also loves being a creator. He is, to Matt's point, he's like a 9.5 himself half the time. He comes back underneath and wants to be a playmaker rather than the 9. So that gives us a little bit of flexibility to draw up some schemes, in particular how we're going to play against an opponent that they might not be expecting.
Time for one more, if we have one. Good.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Adam. Thank you.
Thomas, what do you look for out of this last game as the season winds down?
No, like Hack said, it's a way to end a good form that we've had for the last, 3 months basically, and yeah, we know Minnesota's a good team. They've shown that, and yeah, it's gonna be a tough game, but we come from a 3-0 win here at home, so yeah, we have everything to win and nothing to lose.
Is this a tough week to get motivated as you could see the end of the season and there's nothing beyond Saturday?
Well, yes and no. You know, it's always tough to not have anything to play for. But then again, we also have that chip off our shoulders that we can go out there and play without any pressure. So that's something that we look forward to.
The last Minnesota game, you guys met as a team afterwards to what you wanted to get out of the rest of the season. How has that gone for the goals you set there for what you want to get?
I think we got the 3 wins that we wanted and yeah, we've taken a lot of steps since that meeting and we look like a much better team. So yeah, we're looking forward for that game and to yeah, get that win against them.
Was that an important meeting to have for you guys?
I would say so. You know, it was a point in the season when we yeah had to kind of get together and yeah, decide what we wanted to get out of the last 7 games and yeah, we've taken a huge step there, and I think we have three wins and 1 draw since that, and yeah, it's looking a lot better.
Tomas, for you personally, there's been a lot of talk over the last 3 months about the competition at right back and just fighting for those places. Have you found that it kind of sharpens your edge a little bit having someone like Jake pushing up underneath you, for instance?
Yeah, for sure. It's a long season and you know, Jake's a great player and yeah, to have that competition helps you a lot. It gets that spark in you and yeah, I think I also needed that. Like 3 months ago, I felt my form dropping a little bit, and yeah, he came up and played really well when he played, and yeah, it's been a good competition.
Has it been tough to adjust to just the length of an MLS season, especially with where you're coming from, the travel, just how long you're trying to be competitive throughout the season?
Yeah, it's definitely different. It's back home you always have that summer break and national games are weekends off. So if you're not in the team, so it's a long season. It's a lot of different climate changes. It's long travels, but you know it's something that we have to get used to. And for me personally, this first year has been good.
Do you feel like you're in a much better place now than you were, say, at the start of the year?
Yeah, of course. I have a lot of games under my belt. I know about the heat here in St. Louis. So yeah, I think this is a good step forward for next year for me.
Have you gotten used to the tornado warnings?
I have, but they haven't been for quite some time now. So that's good. I think the last time was 5 in the morning, early summer days. So yeah.
What have you enjoyed about being here in St. Louis?
Well, that's a big question. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's first of all, it's the team and the staff and all the guys that I see every day. You know, it's a great group of guys, and yeah, to be able to come into City Park here every other weekend and play here is amazing. But then, yeah, also my wife also works at a coffee shop and she has her own life here, and yeah, that helps with it all.
And congratulations on the baby.
Thank you.
How long? When are you?
The due date is 12th of January.
So, were you born here or back in Norway?
Back in Norway. Back in Norway.
Simpler because of family there?
Yeah, and because of the training camps that we're going to, it seemed like the better option.
Mhm. Well, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
When you look at how this season, think back to last training camp when you first got here and just the ups and downs of this season, did it play out? I mean, what was the season like when you see, you guys started okay, but not great, and then the season kind of takes a drop there in the middle? I mean, what did you see going on for this season.
Yeah, that's how most seasons are. You know, they never go exactly how you plan, and this season has been a bumpy road, and but I think we've come together on the back half of the season, and yeah, this club is still pretty young, and you know, to have this season after last season's, it can be a good thing moving forward.
When you come in, I mean, there's, the expectations, this team had done so well in its first year. Just what was that like to see the team not play at that level that was expected of it?
Yeah, I mean, how do I say it? It's hard to match that first season they had that first season. So you kind of knew that it was hard to back that season with the same outcome. So yeah, like you said, I think we started the season fairly well with a lot of draws and had a little dip down in the summer, but yeah, like I said, in the last 7 games, we've been a completely different team and taken a lot of points.
Since you are half American, I mean, was this transition easy for you?
Yeah, yeah, it has. You know, I have family over here, and yeah, my mother has been speaking English to me my whole life, so that's been fairly easy for me, and yeah, I've enjoyed it.
Coming from Norway, does America make sense though? You look at things that happen here, you look at politics or world events, you think, gosh, this is different.
You know, the really only thing that's very different is all the hurricanes here and the tornado warnings. You don't see those hurricanes back home, so yeah, it was scary watching that in Florida.
So your weather concerns in Norway is just snow.
Yeah, snow and minus 15 Celsius, but no, I'm used to that.